What would you do if your partner asked for a prenup?
I probably would have my own secret bank account somewhere.
If you're gonna commit me, don't commit to me with the condition.
No.
Okay, that's fair.
Because it's kind of like till death do us part.
I'm so sorry about the late upload. I completely forgot that there was an episode. I missed an episode 3. Anyway, this episode we get to meet the new bachelor, the last one, and I wish we had continuation. If they're going to show us if they're going to bring in 3 guys, then show us what's happening with each guy every week, because we didn't get to see Joshua this episode, so it doesn't make sense because we are left that storyline in the air. We're moving on to a different storyline. What do I think? I think Chad is okay. All the guys, I really can't knock them. They seem like guys with very good heads on their shoulders. So hopefully it doesn't become toxic. What do I think of the 4 girls that came in? I'm happy that 2 of my favorites stayed. One of my favorites, I'm a bit side-eyeing her because I really don't know whether she possesses enough emotional intelligence to sort of cope with the situation like this. And Lauren should have just asked them to send her home, because we all know she's not on board. She said she's never dated younger guys, so I'm surprised she's still there. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Somebody's Son, Season 1, Episode 3. I'm surprised we didn't start off with Joshua and Omar just to see how they're doing with the ladies. But anyway, we pick up from James and Charlize. I listened for the pronunciation today, his mum. And so they are just talking and having a conversation about the dumping and how James sort of feels about that. And James says he was on board with that idea. He agrees that the right person went home. Personally, I don't think the girls that they chose are there for the right reasons. To me, it comes across as though some of them are just there to be on TV. People like Sabrina, I think she is there for TV. She's there for clout, because you see them do their diary cams and you can tell that they're there to be influencers. I don't think either one of the girls is there for a serious relationship. Anyway, they then receive a message to say, they'll be accompanying the ladies on a physical activity. So they're going paintballing. And so they're going to monitor the communication with the girls and James to see how that goes. They let the girls know that they will be going on this adventure, and that the girl who has the best communication with James is the one who's going to win a one-to-one session with him. For me, I don't understand. We had the photo shoot with Joshua, and these are going on a physical activity. Is that because that's what James wants? And do the girls, are they into that sort of thing, or are they just going to go along just to get along? They all don't seem like they're sort of people who'd go paintballing, but then just my opinion. We then meet the final bachelor, Chad. He's come in with his mom, Katina. Chad is a financial analyst. He wants a woman to settle down with. He's outgoing, fun to be around, smart, goal-orientated, and he plans on opening his own CPA company. And it seems since the age of 8, he's lived with his dad because his parents are separated. And so this is his opportunity to spend time with his mom and get to know his mom. His mom seems like a very religious person. She talks about praying with the girls. She says she doesn't want someone to come with their cheeks out. And it's like, oh, poor thing. You didn't get to meet her. Who was it, Tamira, who came out with the cheeks out? I wonder what's going to happen. Hopefully the producers don't bring someone with their cheeks out. And so they receive a message that the girls will be arriving. I love the house they're living in. It's quite it's a gated community and it looks very nice. So I can't wait to see who the producers are going to bring out to meet Chad. Hopefully, someone who's serious about her relationship. We get to meet the ladies. So Chad gets to meet the 4 girls. So we all know that they initially bring in 4 girls. Then you have to dump one and you're left to 3. We haven't yet known what happens after you get to 3, because it seems like, there is the activity and then there's the one-on-one date. I don't know whether they'll do further dumping after that. But anyway, we get to meet the first girl, Paige. I loved Paige. I'm trying not to have a favorite because most of my favorites have been sent home. home, so I'm trying not to have a favorite. Paige is a business analyst. She wants someone to match her hustle because she also works part-time as a sports commentator. She is in college sport. She was a tomboy growing up. It seems she played a lot of soccer. He seemed really interested when he saw her, Chad, and they appeared cute. They make a good couple. They're both 30 years old, so which would make sense. Oh, well, Paige is actually 28, sorry. So that would make sense as a couple because of the age gap, that it's not that big. So I could see them as a couple. Next came in Miranda. Miranda is 30 years old. She's an HR manager. Miranda, for me, well, she says she gets the ick easily. And so it makes me question, if you get the ick easily, why are you on a dating show? Because you're going to get an ick. Are you just there for clout, or are you there seriously to look for love? She says she wants someone to love unconditionally. So we want that for her. Next up is Lauren. She's 35. She's the oldest. She's a hairstylist and she wants to start a family because she says her biological clock is ticking. And for me, I saw her sort of retreat when she found out that the guy is only, Chad is only 30 years old. And so she's older than him by 5 years old. Initially, she well, not 5 years old. She's older than him by 5 years. She was initially interested, but the moment she found out the age gap, you could see her retreat because she said she's only dated one other person that was younger than her. I think Chad comes across as emotionally intelligent and he comes across as more focused and sort of goal orientated. So I wouldn't knock him. I think she's going to give it a go. I think she's going to stay on the show just for the sake of staying on, but I have a feeling Lauren might end up being the first person sent home. Lastly came in Jasmine. She's 26. She's a student. She studied in Europe. When she said she initially studied in Europe, I thought she spent at least a year or two because Europe courses are normally 3 years. And so for her to say she only spent 4 months, it's like, okay. She really looks cute. She really does. She's only 26 years old, so it makes sense. There's a 4-year age gap. And standing together, aesthetically, they look like a great couple. And you could see that Chad was really interested. She said she's looking for someone sort of to help her plant her roots because she's in this transition period. And it's like, well, if you were an exchange student, I would have thought you were still going to come back to the US and continue with your course. What happened there? I didn't quite get it. I love that the ladies were very friendly towards one another. There was a sense of community, sense of camaraderie. But then the thing is, with Miranda, you could see that his mother was sort of taken aback because she really seems like she wants a drink. At one point, she was saying to him, oh, try and top up my glass as high as you can go. And then she was trying to encourage Chad to sort of have a drink, but Chad didn't want to. So I have a feeling, if anything else, the two people that are most likely going to be sent home is either Miranda because of the drink or Lauren because of the age. So you have James go on his paintball date with the girls. And personally, I feel like James, his number one pick is Alicia. Sadly, Alicia comes across as an influencer. And so I don't get what he really likes about her, whether it's the aesthetics or what it is, I don't know. Anyway, so his mom then assigns them roles. So first up, he goes with Alicia. He tells her the game plan. This is what we're going to do, because he was hoping, I think, in my opinion, the impression I got was he really wanted to win his date with her, or his one-on-one. And it was really a poor attempt because apparently she's a gamer and the communication was poor to non-existent. It was poor to non-existent, and she got shot, and so she had to leave the game. And it was quite quick as well. His mom was taken aback because she didn't expect the communication to be that poor. Next up was Sabrina. She shot James in the leg. She was very competitive, so she shot him in the leg, and so he then had to go out. Lastly was Bree. She is a pageant girl, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, she is. And so she actually did way better than everybody else. She was giving him instructions on what to do, and they actually won the game. So it ended up being she won because she was the best communicator out of the bunch. Some of the girls were non-communicative at all, so it's not surprising that she won. James really didn't seem that excited. I think had Alicia won, he would have been more excited, but he didn't seem excited to be having his first date with Brevon, and I don't understand. If you don't like her, why then is she still there? Why didn't you give the impression that you needed her to go home? So we have Chad and his mum. Well, he introduces his mum to the girls, and the girls are taken aback because they weren't aware that his mum will be staying in. Anyway, I didn't like the side eyes, the way they were staring at her. And then when they realized that that was his mum, suddenly everyone has got a smile and is welcoming. And it's like, that's not it. When you all came in, you were welcoming towards one another. What were you going to do? That should have been a red flag moment for his mum, because so you didn't like me until you realized that I was the mother to the guy you're trying to date. I would have sent someone home based on that. So she then invites them to the table and they all sit down and they go through the rapid fire questions. The first question is, what would you do if your partner asked for a prenuptial agreement? Miranda says she worked for lawyers and she saw the struggles that the women went through. So she would come up with a plan to hide some money just in case, so that she doesn't get into financial difficulty after the divorce. Paige is of a different opinion. She says she's not on board with conditional love because to her a prenup sounds like conditional love, because you say till death do us part. So if death do us part, why are we coming up with a prenup? So she doesn't want a prenup. And it doesn't make sense to me, given the fact that she's the one who comes across as very career orientated, goal orientated. And so the idea that she would go into a relationship, there's no guarantee your relationship is going to last forever. So the idea that you'd want to go into a relationship where you don't know what the future holds without any security doesn't make sense. Next, who should be the breadwinner in a relationship? Chad is asked by his mom. He says, he wants to be the main provider in his family. So if his partner earns more than him, he's going to be driven in order to make sure that he earns more than his partner and is able to provide for his family. Next question is, what boundaries do you expect from your partner? Lauren says, she wants her partner to maintain personal space. So if he sees somebody knows, whether it's male, female, if it's a female, he just shakes her hand or gives her a fist bump, but no hugs. It's like, oh, she's territorial. Jasmine says she doesn't have any boundaries. This is where the lack of emotional intelligence comes in, because to her, she doesn't quite understand. She's not as experienced as someone who's 35 years old or someone who's 30 years old. Let's be for real. She's still in that sort of, we've all been 25, 26. We know where we were at that age. So it's understandable that she feels that way. Next question, what would you do if you found out your partner doesn't wear underwear? Chad said he doesn't mind, but his mom was like, I would want to know where you're coming from for you to be moving around. And it seems to be a common theme that people walk around without, underwear. And it's like, what if you fall? Maybe the HCP in me is coming out, what if you fall sick and paramedics and stuff come on site and, you're wearing this short skirt and now everything is on, no. TMI. So after the questions, Chad and his mom, Katina, go for a chat. They're sort of discussing the girls, and Chad is sort of asked, who would you pick as your number one if you're picking? He said Paige, and his mom agrees that they have more in common, although she's concerned that Paige is more alpha, and so she's not sure whether her son would be able to cope with that. And Chad says, in his opinion, she comes across as someone who, if he's lacking in certain areas, she would step in. He wouldn't need to worry that, things are going to be left hanging. She'd always step in. Miranda, his mum, is not on board with Miranda. So sadly, Miranda lost her at the drinking, plus the secret money. His mum said she comes across as bubbly and easygoing, but the fact that she hides money is the problem for her. It's like, well, that's really sad. Jasmine being, in the transition phase as well is worrying. And it's like, people make it seem like she's been in Europe for 2-3 years. She's been in Europe for 4 months. Let's be for real. What transition does she need? Apart from time distance, and that will end in a week. So what else is she transitioning from? Let's make it make sense. Did she go to Europe as her final sort of module in her program? What was it? Let's not make a big deal out of nothing. Lauren, the mom was worried that she may be too much for her son, and she might be nagging. And he says, his mom has never really been into his relationship, so he doesn't understand why she would think that he wouldn't be able to cope. She's never had the opportunity to see him in a relationship or witness how he sort of navigates his relationships. So he doesn't understand why she's sort of undermining his ability to cope with someone like Lauren. You have Chad and his mom return to the lounge. The girls are sat there and they sort of tell the girls that sadly they have to send someone home because this is the message that they've received. And so they go through the girls. Obviously, they'll start with number one. Number one to stay is Paige. You can see that Chad is excited. I think he has a lot more in common with Paige. If he can stick it out with Paige and actually work on the relationship for what it is, there is a possibility of success. Jasmine is the next one. I think because aesthetically they look good with Jasmine. She was my second favorite. Aesthetically they look good. It's the maturity that I worry about, that he's 30 years old, she's 26. I know it's only 4 years, but the problem is she looks like she's a bit immature for her age, or that's the impression that she gives me, which then leaves Lauren and Miranda. And so he was thankful to his mom for saving the first two girls. Then his mom reveals that Miranda has to go home and Lauren is staying, and he wasn't happy about it. And it's like, what is it about Miranda that you like? The fact that she's a free spirit, is that it? I don't get it, because I personally believe that Miranda and both Lauren didn't need to stay. They should have kept two girls, because Lauren checked out the moment she realized he was younger, and Miranda's there for a good time and a great time. She doesn't seem like she's there for a relationship. I love that she was cordial, and she didn't seem really offended, because she actually gave him a hug, unlike the other girls who refused to hug the guys that they got money from. So I can't wait to see what happens there. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 2. Bye guys.